After 60, your brain shrinks by nearly 0.5% each year. That's not theory, it's confirmed by MRI scans. At the same time, your retina also begins to thin. Quietly. Gradually. Until one day, you notice things aren't quite as sharp in your mind or in your eyes. You pause mid-sentence, forgetting a word. You squint at your phone, struggling to read a text. You forget the reason you walked into the kitchen. It's subtle, but it adds up. Most people brush it off as just aging. But the truth is more complex and more hopeful. Your brain and eyes are part of the same system. Both depend on tiny blood vessels to deliver oxygen and nutrients. When circulation weakens or inflammation rises, both suffer. That's why people with early vision decline are nearly 2.8 times more likely to develop memory loss. Not because one causes the other, but because both are starving for support. But here's the good news. You can feed them naturally. Modern research shows that certain berries contain powerful compounds that help protect and repair both retinal tissue and brain cells. One study from Harvard found that seniors who ate flavonoid-rich berries like blueberries had up to 2.5 years less cognitive aging than those who didn't. So no, these small declines are not final. And you are not powerless. If this is your first time here, welcome. I'm Dr. James Porter, and this is Senior Brain Vision. Feel free to subscribe if you'd like more science-backed ways to stay sharp after 60. Now let's take a closer look at the first berry, the one I recommend to almost every patient who tells me, "Doc, I just don't feel as clear as I used to." Blueberries may look small, but inside each one is a biochemical powerhouse designed to fight the two most devastating forms of cellular damage we face as we age: oxidative stress and neuroinflammation. Let me explain what that really means. As we get older, our cells are exposed to more free radicals. These are unstable molecules that damage DNA, weaken cell membranes, and accelerate aging, especially in high-demand tissues like the retina and the hippocampus. The retina is the part of your eye that captures light. The hippocampus is the part of your brain that forms new memories. Both are incredibly sensitive. Both are highly active. And both begin to decline around the same time after 60. That's where blueberries come in. These berries are rich in anthocyanins, a specific class of flavonoids responsible for their deep blue color. But anthocyanins aren't just pigments. They are potent antioxidant compounds that have been shown to cross the blood-brain barrier and directly influence brain and eye function. According to a 2012 study published in the Annals of Neurology, older adults who consumed blueberries and strawberries regularly showed significantly slower rates of cognitive decline, equivalent to delaying brain aging by over 2 years. Another study, published in 2020 Inches Nutrients, found that blueberry supplementation improved memory and executive function in older adults within just 12 weeks. Participants also showed improved visual spatial processing, which directly links brain clarity with visual clarity. Even more compelling is what researchers found in the retina. A 2013 paper in the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry showed that anthocyanins from blueberries accumulated in retinal tissue and helped preserve photoreceptor cells against oxidative stress, the same stress that leads to macular degeneration. What this means is simple. Blueberries do not just protect, they may actually support repair. They help stabilize fragile blood vessels. They reduce inflammation. They increase neural signaling in regions of the brain associated with memory, processing speed, and vision coordination. Let me give you a real-world example. Marilyn is 69. She told me she had stopped doing her morning crosswords because the letters felt blurry and her focus faded quickly. She wasn't sleeping well. She was forgetting small things. Nothing alarming, but frustrating. I recommended she start her day with a bowl of plain Greek yogurt and a half cup of wild blueberries, nothing fancy. 6 weeks later, she smiled and told me, "I finished the whole puzzle again. No glasses, no erasing." That's not a miracle. That's mitochondria working better. That's cells finally getting the fuel they've been asking for. Now, not all blueberries are created equal. Wild blueberries contain up to twice the antioxidant capacity of conventional ones. They are smaller, more concentrated, and often frozen right after harvest, which preserves their phytochemicals. But even fresh store-bought blueberries offer powerful benefits. You don't need to juice them. You don't need to blend them into exotic smoothies. Just half a cup a day stirred into oatmeal, added to a salad, or eaten as an afternoon snack is enough to begin supporting blood flow, neural signaling, and retinal stability. And consistency matters more than quantity. What your brain and eyes need is not a megadose one day and nothing the next. They need steady, daily support. The kind you can give yourself with one simple handful of blue. So the next time you find yourself struggling to focus, squinting to see, or searching for a word that's just out of reach, ask yourself one quiet question. Have I fed my eyes today? Have I fed my brain? Because the difference between fading and focusing might just be found in the fruit you used to overlook. For centuries, goji berries have held a special place in traditional Chinese medicine, often referred to as a tonic for the liver, kidneys, and most notably, the eyes. But it wasn't until recent decades that modern science began to uncover the full neurological and visual potential of this humble red fruit. Goji berries are particularly rich in a compound called zeaxanthin. This is a carotenoid, a pigment that settles directly into the macula of the retina, acting like a natural filter for blue light and oxidative stress. In fact, goji berries contain more zeaxanthin than any other known food source per gram. And that matters, because zeaxanthin is one of the only nutrients that accumulates in the retina itself. It helps protect photoreceptor cells, enhances contrast sensitivity, and improves visual acuity, especially in low light conditions, or for tasks like reading fine print. A clinical study published in the Journal of the American Academy of Optometry in 2013 showed that participants who consumed goji berries for 90 days had significantly increased plasma zeaxanthin levels and improved macular pigment density, a key marker of retinal health. But the benefits of goji berries go beyond the eye. They're also powerful neuroprotectors. Goji berries contain a unique group of polysaccharides known as LBPs, Lycium barbarum polysaccharides. These compounds have been studied for their ability to reduce neural inflammation, support mitochondrial function, and protect against age-related cognitive decline. A study in rejuvenation research in 2012 found that older mice supplemented with goji polysaccharides showed improved spatial memory, increased brain-derived neurotrophic factor, and reduced oxidative stress in brain tissue. This isn't isolated to animals. In 2014, researchers at the University of Hong Kong conducted a randomized controlled trial published in Evidence-Based Complementary and Alternative Medicine, showing that adults who consumed goji berry juice daily for 14 days reported improved focus, alertness, and sleep quality. While these results are subjective, they align with known biological pathways influenced by goji compounds, including enhanced cerebral blood flow and reduced systemic inflammation. Even more impressively, goji berries appear to regulate blood sugar and lipid profiles, which directly affect both brain and eye health over time. Chronic high blood sugar can damage retinal blood vessels. Elevated triglycerides restrict oxygen delivery to the brain. By improving metabolic balance, goji berries offer a dual benefit, protecting the tiny capillaries that feed the retina and nourishing neurons deep within the brain. Goji berries are also rich in lutein, beta-carotene, and vitamin C, all of which work synergistically to reduce free radical load and support the regeneration of damaged cells. And unlike many Western supplements, these nutrients are delivered in a natural matrix the body recognizes and absorbs efficiently. In simpler terms, goji berries offer your body information, not just ingredients. They deliver signals that activate defense, repair, and balance. One of the most remarkable findings comes from a 2021 review published in Nutrients, which analyzed over a dozen human and animal studies on goji berries. The authors concluded that regular intake of goji was associated with improvements in macular thickness, antioxidant status, and markers of cognitive function, all without adverse effects. And while dried goji berries are the most common form available in the West, their potency remains high. Just a small handful, around 20 grams per day, is enough to deliver meaningful amounts of active compounds. You can soak them in warm water and drink both the liquid and berries. You can add them to herbal tea, mix them into oatmeal, or enjoy them as a tart sweet midday snack. The key is consistency, not complexity. Because what this little berry offers is simple: protection, clarity, resilience. Not just for your vision, but for your thinking, your balance, and your sense of presence in the world. In a time when so many seniors feel mentally foggy and visually strained, goji berries offer a quiet message. Your system still remembers how to heal. It just needs the right signal to begin. Of all the berries on this list, strawberries are the most familiar, the most cheerful, and perhaps the most underestimated. Because beneath their bright red color and sweet flavor lies a powerful vascular protector, one that supports both your brain's memory network and your eye's fragile blood vessels. The secret lies in their flavonoid content, especially a subgroup called anthocyanidins. These compounds have been shown to improve endothelial function, meaning they help the inner lining of your blood vessels stay flexible, strong, and responsive. This matters more than you might think. Your brain and eyes depend on microcirculation, tiny capillaries that must deliver oxygen and nutrients to delicate tissues. When those vessels weaken or stiffen, neurons and photoreceptors begin to starve. You feel it first as brain fog, then dry eyes, trouble focusing, reduced contrast, slower thinking. Strawberries help stop that process at its source. In a 2019 study published in Nutrients, researchers found that strawberry supplementation in older adults improved cerebrovascular responsiveness, a measure of how well the brain's blood flow adapts under stress. The authors concluded that flavonoids in strawberries may preserve executive function by enhancing oxygen delivery and reducing neuroinflammation. A separate study in the Annals of Neurology in 2012 followed over 16,000 women aged 70 and older. Those who consumed 2 or more servings of strawberries per week experienced significantly slower rates of memory decline, equal to about 2.5 years of preserved cognitive function. And for the eyes, strawberries offer a different but equally important benefit: vitamin C. The retina is one of the most metabolically active parts of the body. It requires constant antioxidant protection. Vitamin C helps regenerate other antioxidants, like vitamin E and glutathione, forming a defensive wall against free radical damage. A 2013 paper in Ophthalmology found that diets high in vitamin C were associated with a reduced risk of cataracts and slower progression of age-related macular degeneration, especially when combined with other flavonoids. Now, let me tell you about someone who saw this benefit firsthand. Eleanor is 73. She came to me complaining of tired eyes and a mind that felt dull by late afternoon. She used to enjoy reading to her grandkids, but recently the letters would blur. She would lose her place, and her recall felt slow. We made a few simple changes, one of which was adding strawberries into her lunch every day, just 6 to 8 medium berries. No sugar, no whipped cream, just whole fruit. 4 weeks later, she came back with a spark I hadn't seen before. She said, "I read them 3 stories last night. I didn't lose my place once, and I remembered every word." Now, was that only the strawberries? Of course not, but they were part of the solution, because when you improve blood flow to the brain and eyes, you unlock energy that's been stuck. Focus sharpens. Memory returns. Reading feels easy again. Strawberries are easy to add. Fresh or frozen, they retain their antioxidant power. You can blend them into a smoothie, slice them onto yogurt, or enjoy them with a few walnuts for a brain-boosting afternoon snack. What matters most is regularity, not perfection. Your mind and vision rely on momentum, on repeated small acts of nourishment that add up to something stronger, something clearer, something worth protecting. So the next time you pass by strawberries in the store, don't see a snack. See a tool, a gentle daily intervention to help keep your memories bright and your world in focus. So now that you know what these 3 berries can do, the question becomes simple. How do you bring them into your life without making things complicated? Because the truth is, Healing doesn't require fancy diets or expensive powders. What your brain and your eyes really need is consistency. Here's how I recommend starting. Choose one berry for each part of the day. In the morning, begin with blueberries. Just half a cup added to your breakfast can set the tone for sharper thinking. You can mix them into warm oatmeal, stir them into plain yogurt, or eat them alone with a spoon. Wild frozen blueberries are ideal, but fresh works too. The key is starting the day with an antioxidant push. In the afternoon, goji berries are your best ally. Their polysaccharides and carotenoids help sustain focus through the midday slump. A small handful, around 20 grams, soaked in warm water for 10 minutes, creates a light tea you can sip and chew. It's a calm, nourishing ritual that keeps your brain awake without caffeine. In the evening, strawberries offer gentle support as your body begins to wind down. 6 to 8 medium berries sliced after dinner can help stabilize blood vessels, support memory, and give your retina a final dose of vitamin C. You can serve them chilled with a sprinkle of cinnamon or alongside a few nuts for added omega-3. You don't need to eat all 3 every single day. What matters more is building a weekly rhythm. 3 to 4 times a week per berry is enough to deliver cumulative benefits. You can rotate them, repeat your favorites, or adjust based on what's in season. And yes, frozen berries still work. In fact, they're often picked at peak ripeness and flash frozen to preserve nutrients. Just make sure they don't come with added sugars or syrups. The fruit alone is what your body needs. This plan isn't strict. It's not medical. It's nourishment. Gentle, natural, and reliable. It's a way to give your brain and eyes the exact tools they need to repair, recover, and remember. And perhaps more importantly, it's something you can start right now, today, without a prescription, without confusion. Just a small bowl, a simple habit, and a quiet decision to choose clarity over decline. There's something I want you to remember before this video ends. Just because your vision has blurred, just because your memory has slowed, doesn't mean the story is over. Your brain hasn't stopped listening. Your eyes haven't stopped adapting. The systems inside you are still alive, still learning, still responding to what you feed them. That is the beauty of the human body. It repairs, it rewires, it reaches for balance, even after years of neglect. But it can only work with what you give it. If all you take from this video is one small change, a bowl of blueberries in the morning, a goji tea in the afternoon, a few strawberries after dinner, then you've already done more than most. Because healing doesn't start with perfection. It starts with permission. Permission to try again. To believe that better is still possible. To trust that even now, your brain and your vision are not broken, just waiting for a reason to wake back up. So take that next step, gently, quietly, today. And if this message spoke to you, I just want to say thank you truly for staying with me to the end. Your time matters. Your health matters. You matter. If you found this helpful, feel free to like this video, share it with someone you care about, or leave a comment below. I read every single one. And if you haven't yet, feel free to subscribe, not just to this channel, but to the idea that your best days, your clearest thoughts, your sharpest vision might still be ahead. This is Dr. James Porter, and I'll see you in the next one.